Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Lydia and today I want to show you how to make sourdough bagels. So my recipe makes 6 bagels, so feel free to double or even triple this recipe, especially once you get the hang of it because it's super delicious. First thing you want to do the night before, so we're making the dough the night before, you want to pull out your weight scale and you want to add your mixer bowl on top. Make sure your setting is on grams. Add in your bread flour, your sugar, your salt, your water, and your starter. And then add your dough hook to your mixer and allow this dough to come together on slow speed for 8 to 10 minutes. So we're not going to do any stretching and folding or anything like that. So it's not, I guess, your traditional sourdough recipe, but that intimidates a lot of people. So I think this recipe will be really good for anyone that's kind of like me and busy and just wants something quick, easy, good, and you're not compromising on flavor. So that's what this recipe, or that's who this recipe is for. Once your dough comes together, pull it out and just form it into a ball. So your dough shouldn't be watery by any means, but it shouldn't be super firm. It should be like firm, but not firm to where it's like dry. Hope that makes sense. It should look just like my dough does here. I just formed it into a ball, placed it back in its bowl, and I covered it with plastic wrap, and I let it ferment overnight for 12 hours. That's kind of like the rule of thumb for sourdough fermenting overnight. So that's all I've done, and I covered it with plastic wrap because obviously you don't want anything to, get into it. So after 12 hours, you want to weigh your dough, and you want to make sure you get it in grams and divide it by 6. And then you want to divide your dough in half and divide each piece just so it's like the same weight. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. So just divide your dough in half and whatever number you got by dividing your dough weight into 6, that's what you want each ball to weigh. I hope that makes sense. I really do, because I really don't know how else to explain it. And if you hear thunder, just letting you know, that's thunder if you hear it outside because it's thundering out here in Georgia. So I went ahead and grabbed each ball individually and I formed it into a ball and I pulled it towards me, creating tension. Make sure that you get it as smooth as you can. Take your time with this step. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, these are homemade bagels. So once you get it into a beautiful ball shape, you are going to use your finger and just poke a hole in the center. And then you just want to open that hole with both of your fingers, just like I'm doing here. And all I've done was add each bagel to a lined baking sheet with parchment paper, and the baking sheet has like cornmeal on top of it. I do this because the bagels tend to stick to it as they ferment. So you want them to ferment for another 30 minutes to an hour. Once that happens, you want to add them to a large pot of boiling water that you've added sugar to and boil them on each side for 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes on each side, and then flip them and boil them again on the other side. And then once you pull them out, make sure you pull them and place them back on the baking sheet, top side up. You don't want them, backwards. They're super hot. You can add toppings. I don't. I like my bagels pretty simple. I'm just like a simple type of girl here, so that's why I'm not adding anything to my bagels, but you can definitely do that. Make sure your oven is preheated at 425 degrees, and you'll want to bake these bagels for 25 minutes. Now you'll notice that my bagels don't really have like a big opening in the center, if any at all. That does not bother me. It might bother some, but definitely does not bother me at all. I actually don't like the center, but if it bothers you, you can spread them out while they're boiling, like using a wooden spoon or something. But since it doesn't bother me, I don't even care to make that hole even bigger. So all I've done was I pulled them off the baking sheet once they're done baking. As you can see, some of them kind of split in the center, and I don't know why. Did you guys hear that thunder? That's thunder. That's crazy. Anyways, so yeah, some of mine kind of like split at the bottom. I don't know if that's because I was kind of in a rush when I was forming them, or I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But anyways, I've allowed mine to cool completely on a cooling rack, and I got rid of the extra cornmeal. And then all I do is I like to cut mine down the center once they're fully cooled, and I like to freeze mine in the freezer. I place my bagels into Ziploc bags once they're completely cooled and cut down the center, and then I freeze them. And then whenever I want a fresh bagel, I just pull it out of the freezer. I let it come to room temperature. I can toast it, and I have a fresh bagel. It tastes like I just made it, or like it just came out of the oven. So it's super convenient for me. That's why I make so many. Or you can just eat them as is, like right now. They're super good as well. So I'm not exactly sure why they split at the bottom. I don't know if that has anything to do with the way I boiled them and the heat, or I just probably didn't form them as good as I should have when I was rolling them and, pulling them towards me. I don't know what happened. That was like the first time that they ever done that to me. So yeah, but it doesn't matter. They're still super good. I hope this recipe inspires you to make bagels and, doesn't intimidate you. I want to show you guys that sourdough stuff isn't as complicated as, some people make it. There's so many rules to sourdough stuff, and I'm just honestly sick of it. You can make beautiful bagels. Yeah, they look a little homemade and, rustic, but hey, that's all part of, home baking. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous, in my opinion, topped with some, cream cheese and whatever else you want to put. I mean, yeah, they're a little fumpy, but it's okay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Bye.